So as much as you wouldn't know it, it looks like a bright summer's day, but it's actually the end of September now. These are the dying days of the year, really. So we're going into October in a day or two. And I just wanted to quickly just go over all the aroids that are currently in my garden and what's going down at the moment and what's got to be stored for winter in the greenhouse or in the studio. So let me just work through each part of the garden. It's quite a long video, but hopefully you can get an idea of what I've got out there at the moment and what's going to go down. So we'll start at this end of this long border. Now bear in mind, I'll put it on the screen now, but this border was completely new exactly 12 months ago. So this is, everything in here has had 1 year in the ground, or it's gone in this summer. So so in the corner there, temporarily I've put a Ricin communis. It's going to be replaced by a Tetrapanax in this entire area here, which I've got, but that's going to go in for the winter. And what I'm doing at the minute is trying to keep as much in pots over here as I can. So there's in the ground we've got some Arum italicum, which is from Birkenhead, the original stock came from, and they're all along the front of this border here, and they flower and give seed. I've had them for 2 or 3 years now, I think, and they've been in the ground here that entire season, so they've come up really quickly this year. There's quite a few of these heucheras in here, and some ivy that I move around just as I need it. So I don't like ivy, but it's just useful. There's a few different types of arum in here, but these are all just italicum at this end. And underneath here, oh no, it's gone. It's actually just died back. There was a Ceromatum giganteum, but that's literally just died back. So lost it. So down in here is a lovely looking healthy calla lily, or a Xanthodeschia ethiopica, and that's just a very, very common one, and that's been, like I said, that's been in the ground since the start of this year. It didn't stay in over winter because I have a tendency to find that they rot. And what I did do is I started peppering the entire area with these things. So this is my favourite, the Ceromatum venosum. So I've got them popping up everywhere, and they're just going down now. So September, October, November, they'll all go down. So here we have the mighty pink China. So this one did completely survive that horrendous winter we had last year. So this one is well established. You can see down at the base there, hopefully you can see if it zooms in, and there's tons and tons of it, and it's spreading right the way through. The stolons come out all over the place over here. So I'll just zoom out a little bit and you can see it a bit more. Nice big leaves on it, and obviously that's one of the 2 that are pretty much solid hardy in the ground, and they don't give us any problem at all. Now just down here are a load of Ceromatum Indian giant. They were only young, and they've gone down now, so I'm just going to leave them in the ground. I'm going to pull them like that, and they'll stay in the ground as well, because they can come back next year, no problem. So that means this end I've got Giganteum and Indian giant in the same area, and Venosum at the back there. So more Italicum. I've got a Eucomis here that didn't flower, so I'm just going to leave that in the ground. I've no idea whether that will cope. And then here's the one none of us can say. So this is Colocasia georgiensis, or something along those lines. So the Chinese Colocasia there. Again, this one fully hardy, stays in the ground. It's got quite a few in there now. It was a bit late coming up this year, and the leaves aren't the biggest, but it's survived pretty fine. Got a Fatsia japonica at the back there, Japanese Aurelia. Obviously not an aroid, but a lot of the effects that I'm going to get in this entire border here are going to have to be with non-aroids, because what I'm going to need is large canopies. So at the moment I've only got like low story stuff and mid story, so I'm going to really start next year getting the higher canopy stuff in there. So more here, Ceromatum venosum, another Xanthodeschia ethiopica, but this one is a crowbra, so that's a slightly different variety. I quite like that one. Got lots of little tiny azalea and rhododendron in the back of the border. So I've only gone for dwarfs, but I wanted Chinese and Himalayan kind of rhododendron. They're all taking quite well now, and there's the odd thing, I don't actually know what that one is, but there's loads of corms and bulbs that I used for a video that are in there. Now if you look in there, I've got arums seeding everywhere now, so I've put all kinds of varieties of arums in here, and I haven't even labelled those, so we'll just see what we get. So we've got mainly types of Italicum and maculatum, and they're all mixed in at the back to get a bit of a mix. So these will get a bit weedy eventually, the Italicum, so I'll probably get rid of them. Now this year I've started to put this in, so mind your own business. That's going everywhere, so I'm starting to push that, different types of it everywhere to fill up some of the base a little bit. And here's one of those giganteum I was telling you about. So this is one little renegade one. I left it in a pot for some reason, so it's just been sat there and it's just given one life. It's only a baby. This is a little water fern, so this is an alpine water fern, so Australoblechnum penna marina. So I got that off Jack Og at Aroid Garden, like most of my stuff actually. Not an aroid, obviously. I'm going to say that a lot. So a lot of stuff at the back, some ferns, some aspenum, some, I've got some acers. I've got an acer that probably will stay there actually, with below it a fern, so they're good cover for a lot of plants. And stuff is coming through, so if you look down here, we have got some crazy little arums. I don't know whether if I can zoom in, but this is why I've got a lot of these plants. We wanted a lot of this kind of cover to allow some of these shade loving aroids to really take hold, so that's working well. Now I've just dug all this area up, so let me zoom back out. So these are colocasia again, but these are called Metallica. So it's an Escalenta variety, but it's Metallica and it's not hardy, but I left it in the ground last year just to see. And this is what came back this year. So it can cope if you mulch it, but don't expect it to go, to start winning any awards the following year after a bad winter. So this year, I've dug them all up, potted them all up, and I'm going to pop them all in the studio at work so they're out of the way. So moving along here, there's not too many more aroids here now. So we've got young Amorphophallus konjac, 2 konjac just down there, just straightforward normal konjac. I just thought I'd try them in this border. Most of my Amorphophallus are in pots, but these ones I'll let them come out. Here's a little orchid, so this one's not flowered this year, so Epicactis gigantea. So again, I've not put it in the ground. Not been massively confident yet with a lot of these plants to put them in the ground, so the aroids are coming back out. I can cope with them because I know them quite well, but everything else is fairly new to me. But I did notice quite a few little things like this. You can spot an aroid a mile off, so that looks like either an aracema or it could be a pinellia. I don't know, because it's just that I've got that much in there now that could be seeded. So yeah, this is good sign that stuff is sort of like taking off well. Got a fern there that I've left. Again, not potted. I'm going to keep a lot of these quite flexible by not potting them. And then I'll just pull back out and you can see my lovely Pharaoh's mask. So this one again was in the ground. I've just pulled it up now ready, because there's no way I'm leaving these out. They've got nice big solid bases now. So I want these to go to work and be looked after inside. So we've got a Saramatum there, another one that just needs to go down soon. Now this one, it's been a lovely plant. Hopefully I might be able to show you a picture. But this has just gone down now. You can see it's just about to flop over. In fact, I think I stood it up a bit before I did this video. Now this is an Aracema tortuosum, but it's a black rod. So you can see here it's got a black stem coming up here to the petioles, and it has a gorgeous looking spade and spadix. So I've got seeds off this one now, so hopefully I'll be able to, not many, but I should be able to do something with that next year. So down here we've got another pink china. So that's one that's in the ground, and I'm leaving it in the ground, so I want to fill the border at the front. You can see the wind getting up a bit now. So the bananas are a bit battered from Storm Agnes the other day. So we've got this little baby, which is another banana, but this is it's called Chinese dwarf one, but this one is Musellia leucocarpa. So this one's fairly new to me this year, but what I like about it is the size of this. This base is huge already. So again, it's going in. I'm not taking any chances with this. So it stayed in the pot and it's going in the house. So that one's fine. You might see pots everywhere like this within my garden. These are all bear traps. So I have a massive slug problem because we're in a massive wood. So as you can see, this is all woodland at the back and it's full of slugs. So more hooker, some cyclamen, more mind your own business just starting this year. We've got a colocation black magic just been dug up. Now this has just come up, so this is an arum. Again, I'm not totally sure. There's a label down below it that says pictum, but I'm not completely sure yet. It might be the right sort of time of year for a pictum, but we'll see. It doesn't quite feel like a pictum leaf to me, but I'll ask for some help with that one. So, and then we've got Aracema going down. These are both of these two here are Aracema Siren Song. So Aracema consanguineum Siren Song didn't do very well this year in this border at all. Just notice this one's just come up, and this is Arum italicum green marble. So this is a gorgeous little variety that has a really nice leaf. So I'm getting more and more of these kind of varieties now. So this is, again, not the healthiest, but it's a Gorgonidium intermedium. Nice little aroid with really, quite chunky leaves when it does well. I don't think the mix in this soil is as good as I need it to be in the back, so I'm gonna have to do some work on that. I'm gonna bring some manure in over winter. Whole pot at the back there of venosum, and you can see there a failed. In fact, I might even pull that up for you if it'll come out. So this is what, on a good year, would actually be nice and full of seeds instead of dead seeds like this. So that head should be fully loaded with fruit that'll have seeds inside it, but that didn't get fertilized. It's very hard. You have to have a lot of them at the same, or within the same couple of weeks to make sure you get seeds, viable seeds. So more azalea and rhododendron. Again, just fillers, hooker filler, a little Musa Basju from a pup at the back, probably needs to come out. A little canna, mango. So again, just stuff that I've got from garden centres to fill it in while the aroids are taking shape. And then here another, you can tell this is just by this, let me show you. Tell by the light spots on it that is Saramatum Indian Giant rather than a Saramatum venosum that's got the much more leopard looking, or much more like a giraffe kind of texture. So yeah, they're in the ground, they're coming up no problem at all. Another canna, it seems to be doing, it's getting slug damage a lot, but it seems to be okay, so I will take that up. So this is a perfect wave. I was just trying to think which one it is. Bit of wind blowing over there. So I've got quite a few of these in the garden now. So these are the ones that have the nice white stripe down the centre. I've got a couple more these little orchid looking things. So this one is a Blatilla striata white Chinese ground orchid. So I know nothing about orchids, so forgive me. This one is from Krug Farm, and it's not taken very well this year at all. So it's an Aracema, you can see it there, Aracema Af wilsonii, BWJ8124, and it really hasn't done well at all. So it has come up, but it looks weak. So I don't quite know what to do with that, because I really want that one to survive. Another cyclamen there. I love these. There's more of these around the garden. These are Tricertis. These little toad lilies, they have lovely little flowers, which they're just going down at the moment. What's this, euphorbia? So another lovely looking thing. So this is euphorbia. It says euphorbia mix, but I don't have that many euphorbias yet. I want a euphorbia mellifera to go with this border, but I haven't got it yet. So what other aroids have we got? So more Ceromatum venosum down here. I've got I've just potted this one this week. So this is a Colocasia mojito. That's ready to go in storage as well. And the big boy up here is Colocasia Jack's Giant. With the big, you can see the base down there. These are not aroids again, but one of my favourite plants now. So this is Schefflera taiwaniana, and this is my going into my second year of having this one. So this is another one that's come from Jack at Yorkgate, and my intention is to leave this one out. So I'm assured that it's hardy. So we'll see if that one survives. Another euphorbia there, a silver edge. Again, I know nothing about those. A Fatsia spider's web down there. So they're quite cute little things. I do quite like the Fatsias. I've got quite a few of them that we'll come to in a moment. And then we've got a really badly slug damaged canna, and then kind of here is a bit of a jungle, so there's some Ceromatum in there. I've got loads of invasive bamboo down at the corners, some ferns, some strawberries, like no aroids really. There's a bit of a random spider's web Fatsia there. So that corner's all getting changed this winter. This is a little raised area that's just, I keep stuff underneath it for winter, so I keep pots and stuff like that. So literally you can take these plants off and there's literally storage places underneath it, which is good for winter sometimes when I just want to put plants that have died back. But here we've got Fatsia polycarpa, and I've got two varieties here. So I've got this one, which is a very commercial one, the one that's pretty much tissue cultured, so that's green fingers. And then I've got the other one, which is the Needham form, which is a much, I mean, it doesn't look a huge lot different, but it's a much stronger plant. You know, overall, like, you know, from the little time I've had it. So it's this one seems to give me some weak leaves that, you know, not doing so well. But they both look amazing. So they'll go into the ground next year. So probably will bring them into the greenhouse. This here is a mix of, it's not, sounds like aroids, but it's not. So these are all Asarum. So I've got Ling Ling. This is a gorgeous looking one. I've got Caudatum here, two of those. I've got this one's labelled incorrectly, and I haven't changed it yet, but it's actually Asarum europum. This is a lovely leathery leaf, but slugs absolutely love this. So this one here is another. Says the same, but it's not. It's a europum. They were bought incorrectly as Arisarum proboscideum, and it's not. I just haven't changed the label. And then we've got this gorgeous little thing, which is the Splendens. And down here, I've got some lovely little aroids. So forget that one. That's just a little hybrid. But around here, I've got 4 or 5 little specialist ones. So I've got a King George type there. So that one's come up really, really nice, a lovely leaf. This one's called Lutin, so it's much rounder in the leaf, you can see there. So you've got this one, which is Caviar Star, looks very much just like the Arometallicum. So it's a named variety, but I'm not so sure on that one. And then just coming up now, we've got a Monk Silver, which is a named variety. I've been waiting for that for quite some time. So I've only got one of them. So this one here is another Xanthodesia. So this is Xanthodesia aleatana. I prefer this one, if I'm honest. It's got nice diamond leaves, you know, really hastate pointed leaves like spearheads. Now, I'm not going to cover these because these are obviously all my carnivores, so mainly Sarracenia. So a lot of these are from Frank Cook or from wax carnivores, and then some grasses, acanthus and the like. Just noticed some arums at the back coming up there. And a little bit higher up, look at that gorgeous thing there. So that's an Enseti. So that is a beautiful banana. That one's definitely coming in because it's got a proper little fat base. So I don't want to lose that one. And then we've got a Canna musifolia, which is still pushing out new leaves now. Bottom ones are just turning and just going down, but Looks like a Prince of Orange, doesn't it? Like a philodendron Prince of Orange. Those of you that know your indoor aroids. So move around here to some of my water aroids. So we've got quite a range here. So we've got Orontium. So this is Golden Club here. You've got down in the water here, you've got Pistia. And then here we've got Lysochiton americanus. And further across we've got Lysochiton Kamchatkensis. So one's the yellow, one's the white one, one's from Canada, one's from Russia. And then you've got a little it was a hybrid actually. I got it from a garden centre that said it was a hybrid, but it looks like a pink china in terms of the stem. This is a Xanthodeschia ethiopica that's lived in water. You can see some of it dying back there. Little water fern there, and then down here we've got another Lysochiton Kamchatkensis. I keep saying it wrong. And then over here, just going down, is some Calla palustris. So they're the true callas. You hear the name calla lily, and that's not a true botanical calla, but that one is. Here's another one. This is Calla palustra. And this is the rhizome. Look at the size of this. So it dies back regularly, and I don't worry about it. It just comes back all the time. It's got a little gunnera here on top of it. And this is another Lysochiton as well. So these like skunk cabbages are lovely if you like that kind of thing. Loads more Sarracenia, some beautiful ones in here from wax wicked plants. So look at that, beautiful, and they all live outdoors happily as they can be in this tub. So back to the aroids then. So down here we've got quite a few more different types of Ceramatum. Now these that are just going down, these are all Ceramatum venosum, but from Mike Clifford via Jack Ogg. So these they're only young. I've only got them as young tubers started this year, so they've all come up. No flowers obviously yet. So we'll see, we'll record them, make sure we've got them all catalogued. That's why they're in a pot here out of the way, so I can make sure that they stay labelled. This one is Remisetia hookeriana, so I love this plant. I've got a few different Remisetia knocking around, and you can see young ones coming up there. But nice big shaped leaves, and they're a bit red on the back, so you know the hookeriana there. And then some different types of arum coming up underneath. I've just peppered it everywhere. Areopsis peltata in there. So not very good at all this year. Left it in a pot, and I probably shouldn't. Some random stuff in there as well. I don't quite know what that is. Possibly a Pinellia again. An Aracema fargesii. Not really any flowers to show you, no inflorescence to show you at this time of year. These are all coming to the end now, so I'm starting to knock everything down for winter. Aracema botier, and then this one, absolutely love this one. So this is, it's Ceramatum. It's Gondor Ethiopica, and it's got a collection number there, but this one is variegated. So I'm just hoping that over the course of next year these get to a decent sort of size and we get the variegation going. That would be quite a special plant if we do keep the variegation. So again, not an aroid, but Solanum autopiporium, I think, spiky bastard I think it's called. It's fruited up nicely, so I'm going to get seeds off that this year. So that one will give me some lovely seeds. So this one is a huge Xanthodeschia again. It's flowered earlier on in the year, so it's just living its rest of its summer out there. A few more random kind of carnivores just left outside there. So all different types that are just doing extremely well in the weather out here, and some more Calla palustra there. So let's go and have a look in my tiny greenhouse, and I'll just try and focus on the aroids where I can. So start over here. So we've got a brand new little Hilo Beauty, and used to be called Caladium. This one's just come out of the studio, so it's only young from a corm, but it's looking good. So this is and a lot of these are indoor aroids that do well in the greenhouse most of the summer, and then they go back in the winter. So we've got a Syngonium, just a plain old Syngonium podophyllum, but I thought I'd have a few of them in here and just see how they go. So we've got a Ceromatum. There's odd ones that I spot that I just keep in pots just to see how they go. So we've got Aracema Bottier, just come up late in the season. A lot of these really aren't going to make it this year. A lot of these that aren't up now are not going to come up. So I'll make some decisions with them. So another baby Gigantium that's just come up. And what I try to do is I keep some in here, keep some outside, and keep some in the studio at work just to see how things grow. So a few more Krug Farm types of Aracema, and some that I imported from China here. So Hakikomi Fu, so it's Aracema ovale. So again, not up at the moment. Diversifolium, just not done particularly well. This one's cute. So this is an Amorphophallus nanus. So let me zoom in on that. He's just waking up now, so he keeps a very odd pattern. See if I'll zoom in. So this is just like a tiny version of Konjac. Hopefully it has proved out to be the tiny version, so I'm just hoping it is. These bad boys are from Dibley's, so these are begonias, believe it or not. So Begonia luxurians, a gorgeous plant. I have loads of them now. I got some off Frank Cook, Frank's Flora, thanks Frank, and I got some from Dibley's, which is going to fill the garden next year. So coming over here is the Mediterranean stuff that's just coming up. So I've got things like Heligodiscerus muscovarius. So this is its second year from seed. So some of these aroids take forever. Some of them take 3 years. You might have a cycle where they come up, the little cotyledon comes up, single leaf comes up, and then it goes back down straight away. But it's difficult to put up with it sometimes, but if it's well worth the wait if you can. So this is Biarum divicii. So this is these have little golden little spathes. Another Biarum and Caratracense in here, so just coming up. This one is Zelabori, so I've never had that one before, so I'm hoping, let me just get zoomed in, hoping we get to see that one now, if it doesn't get too cold. I am going to heat this greenhouse this year. I've decided. I bought a pipe, a heater pipe, so I'm going to keep it at above freezing, not warm but above freezing. So there's some random aroids in here. So this is Philodendron hederaceum variegata, or variegated. So you wouldn't think, I mean, these used to be super rare at one point, and here I have got them stuck in my greenhouse. But these will all go in over winter. I don't keep these out. They'll go in one of the terrariums or into the studio or whatever. Some random stuff here. So this is just something I bought for £1. Polyscias is it? Something like that. And it was dead, completely dead. I had all these wax on the end. But I've got it back. The life's coming back on it. Little orchid up there. I've got some Syngonium mojito up there, and what's that, global green, so that's an Epipremnum aureum global green in there. Some random bits and bobs, some Nepenthes, they do well over winter. Some more, this is a Syngonium batik, does fine, does absolutely fine, looks like an arum mostly, which is lovely. I think the comparison between that and the arums is lovely. So these are not aroids here, obviously. So I've got all sorts in here. So we've got Pilea umbrosa, we've got Persicaria. These are all my stuff for next year. So we've got the little parrot one there. Can never remember the name. Niam niamensis. So this is the little one that has tiny little parrot looking flowers on it. So these are all for the garden fillers for next year. So loads of little begonias, loads of different types from Dibley's, and then some of this Saxifraga solanifera. So it looks like a begonia, but it's not. It's a Saxifraga. Again, more cuttings, all getting ready. They'll all go into storage, so like somewhere. In fact, they might stay in here if it's heated. So onto this side sense. So there's a couple of aroids here. So this one I've just moved this in because I lost all of these last year. So these are Xanthosoma. I've got a couple of types of these, and I've brought them in just in case. So it's, you know, they're a gorgeous large leaf aroid. So, but I find them incredibly tender. So end of September now, coming into October in a day or two, thought no way am I leaving them outside. That is Fatsia japonica. And then at the back there, I've got a shredded umbrella, one of the Amorphophallus shredded umbrella that's just coming up, and a few random aroid seedlings in there. This is a banana that I got off my friend Dave over in Sunken Island Garden Centre, so I'm keeping that one well out of the bad weather. Acuminata maculensis. So got some more Asarum caudatum in here. And then all kinds of stuff in here. So I don't know why this is in here. Pulmonia, I think it is. I've got one of the Dutchman's pipes. Got some more Syngonium podophyllum, some ferns at the back. This one's gorgeous. I've been showing this week on Instagram. This is Typhonium albinervium. I think can't even say it. Basically it's a beautiful Typhonium, and the flower it's probably one of the only flowers you'll get to see now. It's there, and I've just lost one flower. It lasts only for a couple of days. So I've got some snips of some Borinda papyrifera, a variety from the Scottish bamboo people. They're not doing particularly well, but I've got about 6 more of them. Loads more either begonias, and these are all baby Fatsia. And then more begonias there. So that is all I have generally in the greenhouse for now, but all the time now I'm bringing in different aroids too that are going down. So this is Consinum that's just gone down. These are all of the tubers, so I let them dry and then I store them. These are some Lilium, some lilies, and then these are all ones that have gone down this week. They dry and then into my storage boxes. So this one is a gorgeous plant. It looks like a complete mess here, but this one is a Saromatum venosum Lake Tanner. Now one of them has just gone down, but I can feel that the pot is full, absolutely rammed full of tubers. So I'm hoping next year I might get a flower off them. I haven't seen one myself yet, but these are a much lighter colour. So let's drop down. I won't bother with this side because it's all fruit and bonsais and stuff, and this sort of stuff, sweet potato and begonias, and then there's a few random bits, a few begonias, the odd little bit and bob of aroids, so some consanguineum. I've got a little archway there that I've just started this year, and there's all kinds in there. I suppose the only one I'd really want to show you is this one. This is a Chinese yam. So this one, there you go. So Dioscorea polystraca from again from Sunken Garden, and then this one, I've had this one for a few years now. This is a lovely climber, not an aroid obviously. So there you go, Holobolia latifolia. Well, I butchered that, didn't I? Latifolia, beautiful looking plant. And then over here I've got some Jasminoides and that kind of stuff. So in this little section here, I've got some aroids here. So let me try and come out of the way of the sun. So all down the back there, I've got some baby hostas that seem to be coping with the slugs. So they're probably the only hostas I'm going to have next year. We've got some 2 different types of Aracema consanguineum. So we've got the normal type here that's flowered this year, but not giving me viable seed, unfortunately. And then we've got this one, the normal, the perfect wave variety with a stripe down the middle. So some more big leaf hardy begonias, eminensis. So this one, I can't remember the name of. So this is one of those begonias that have become super popular now. So something star, I believe it is. A spider's web at the back. Here's some more of my Bengals, so Sycamemsis, so Musa Sycamemsis. The wind took this little bad boy out, so this is Ceromatum venosum, but that's gone, unfortunately. And then into the smaller Amorphophallus area here. So we've got a lovely konjac. It's going to have some nice tubers in there for me. So come around here, another type of konjac, just a different variety. This one here, so Amorphophallus Leosong. So these are ones that are obviously hybrids. So you can see a completely different stem on that one. I don't know much about the Leosong yet, that's my first year of having it. So we've got this one down here, which is an albus, and anything with the light green stem, you can see 3 or 4 of them, they're all albus, until you come to here. And this is a Amorphophallus Mary Sizemore. But this one seems to be variegated. It's got, or it's a virus, I'm not sure which. But it seems to be healthy and holding up. So we've got Saromatum horsfieldii in here. We've got, that was the albus, wasn't it? Albus. Move along here. So this is a Stipitatus, so that's just another name for Amorphophallus konjac. Got a big albus. We've got another konjac from another place. Got this lovely little thing, which is Amorphophallus henryi. I'm going to go out of the sun now, it's going to be dark now. You can see there some toad lilies. Oh, it's come off in my hand, so I can actually show you. So these beautiful little toad lily flowers. These are a real compliment for your aroids in the garden. Another canna, and then more of these. There's tons of these. So I've got about 20 different types of Amorphophallus going off at any one time. So this is another Riviera, which is from Edulis. But look how thin those leaves or leaflets are, and how gorgeous that petiole is. So looks more like the Leosong, doesn't it? So Cobra form. So I've got loads of the different types. I've got, I'm trying to grow as many of them as I can. And I'm probably on about my 3rd year with Amorphophallus now, so all fairly new to me. So got a young Tetrapanax here. I've got about 4 Tetrapanax now, but again, first year with them. I've got this one that's just going down. This is one of my beautiful pride and joys. Not an aroid, but look at that leaf. So that's Brassioopsis mitis. Ready to go for its sleep. Some more Xanthodeschia. This is a failure, so this is Amorphophallus bulbifer that just has not woken up. So I've dug it out to have a look, see if it's rotted, which it hasn't. And this is a long stem one from Himalayan Gardens up in Scotland. Didn't take at all. So spiky lemon tree from Jurassic Plants. That is actually a Fatsia variegated, but to me it just looks like a spider's web, so sold to me as a variegated, but it doesn't look it. Whereas this one it looks got a bit of salt on it. This one is a Fatsia camouflage, so I much prefer this one. So this one's much more common now than it was recently, so I'm hoping to grow more of these and less of those. I've got 3 or 4 of those spider's webs and I don't like them, so running out of aroids down at this end now. So I've got this great big Musabaz Dew up here that seems to be coping well with all the wind and the storms. So all the bananas seem to have, apart from that first one we looked at, have weathered it well. And look at that big red one there. There's an Enseti there just in front of this beautiful Tricertis. So, this is such a gorgeous combination. It's one of the reasons that I like having these kind of, not just aroids. So I love these giant herbs, the bananas, and obviously things like these aeoniums. I have a really big aeonium down here. Look at this one here, that's beautiful, and a little Schwarzkopf down there. Have a quick look at this table, because this is just some random stuff. So young Tetrapanax, where are we now? That one is Tetrapanax rex. And then we've got down here, I've got a Tetrapanax. You can hardly tell, to be honest with you. That's a Tetrapanax empress. The one at the back there that you saw is a steroidal giant. Again, that's from Plantsman Dave. This is a Brassioopsis, different type. So this is a Brassioopsis hispida. Not doing particularly well in my care. 3 more Schefflera taiwaniana, 4 more. Another Schefflera, Enephilia, never even heard of that one, I got that this year. And then 2 of these Manihot Grahamii. These are not doing particularly well, just more life coming up there. I might move this back inside. This one, I just really hope I can keep this going. Big Brunner Macrophylla, I've had that for about 4 years now, so this one just loves me and just keeps going and going. That thing's just wilted, so I'm assuming that it's either dying back or I've let it dry, so I'm going to find out later. So this is an acanthus, Tasmanian angel. That's a spiky little thing, and then there's all kinds in here. Again, not aroids, asplenums, and then some of these vining ones that I got from Jurassic Plants, some Pilea and some what's this one? This is Tenantia and Salvia Macrophylla, some little more Brunnera. So back onto the main drag. So loads of Adicium, and so these gingers, I've got all kinds of gingers now. So I've got a Canna Wolf Song there that I got from the Southport show, and then this is Adicium unanensis, it says, but I'm not overly sure if that's the right name. But I've got so many of these that I've got to learn about yet. I keep them mainly as complements to the aroids, so I can't just have a whole garden full of aroids. So these are the tropical plants that I've managed to put together that are good for an aroid garden. So Adicium forestii, great big one there, that is huge. I've had flowers off that but no seeds. And down to this big boy here, so Alocasia macrophylla, big boy. Got 2 of these now, got this one here, and the great big chunky rhizomes that were split in half. Got some basic begonia growing at the bottom, another fatsia, some this is begonia grandis, so one of the red ones. Looks like red undies, but it's not. I think it's claret jug or something like that. Begonia torsa, and then all kinds of left some stuff there. All kinds of stuff that's left over from my previous garden, really. So some euphorbia there, some trailing stuff that I've just started to sort of like, build up the garden with. And this one, so and then popping up everywhere, we've got these arum now. Also, this one is a gorgeous, look at the spots on that. These 2 here are fully loaded with Dracunculus vulgaris, and I've just put plants on the top just to sort of stop the cat getting in there. Some more Soramatum just going down, and that beautiful plant there, that is my Cycad or Cycas revoluta. I saw that on holiday a while back, and I just had to have a cycad in the garden. And then down here are all my Pinellia, so I keep these separate because they can be a bit weedy. So Pinellia tripartita, and you can see this is where you will see little aroid flowers. So these are weeds. So basically what happens is they set seed like this, then this, watch this tips over, and basically with a little bit of wind, these just all fall out like this. You can see them sprinkling out. That's exactly what happens over the course of a day or 2. And I just let them stay in this one. I don't let them get out. But it's prolific. Even if this fully dies back, which it will do, completely die back to nothing in winter, they just stay in the pot and come back every year. And then this one here that looks like a cross between an Aracema and Amorphophallus, this is another Pinellia. So this is Pinellia pedatisecta. I like this one actually. This is a much nicer one. Same in that pot there, and you can see the inflorescence there. So they do, at least you do get some nice inflorescence off these. So this section here is a new little border on the edge of the decking that I'm just laying out this year. So there's nothing in the ground. I've literally just put a frame around it, and I'm just working out what I can get in there. So you've already seen from the lower area the cycad, and then there's an acer at the back. These are all my pups from my main Musa Basju here. I've got about 8 of them, and I've got a dwarf Cavendish that's just about to come in. These are all Colocasia Redemption, which aren't particularly showing redemption colours yet. They look like black magics at the moment. another pink china, another Jack's Giant. I've got the beginnings of my first gunnera there in the corner in a little water butt. Running quite dry now, but I think that will be fine for winter now. It'll probably die back, obviously. Some ferns at the base, some persicaria, a couple of types filiforma. This one I just picked up. I've never seen this one before. Got this from a rare plant fair. So this is called Fat Domino, and it's got gorgeous flowers. But again, these are really just fillers to go alongside my aroids for the new year. So this probably won't look anything like this next time I show it. And then the last little bit here, so we've got some more persicaria. Got I think this one is a blue Hawaii, or I think it's something like that. So colocasia, blue Hawaii, yeah. These are what I've just picked up, ready to fill in this border. So some more Hadicium. So that's the brighter looking one there. So that's a gorgeous looking one. So I think that one's called Assam Orange. These are some Gloriosa, some yucca that I rescued and chopped up. There's that sad looking Sycamemsis that got battered by Storm Agnes the other night. Some Impatiens at the corner there, a little Acer at the back. And then this thing here, this is an odd little acquisition that I got the other week. So this is from Asda in the UK, and it's an alocasia, but I have no idea what type. So it's got this, it looks like a Pharaoh's mask, believe it or not. I had this one odd leaf, so I had to buy it just for that leaf. So that's going to come in and go into the studio. And that is it, really. So that's where we're at of my stuff that's currently outside, the aroids. So the garden's come on leaps and bounds in 1 year. Still a long way to go, and it's doing well, but plenty to do. So it's going to look pretty disastrous over winter, and then we'll get it all back for the next season.